So you know what's just happened? I've basically lost my Monzo card as well. So for those of you that have just joined us, I am actually in Bali right now. And we were in Singapore, and then we moved to Bali. And basically, it's now, it's like gone midnight. Oh, well, it's 12:30. And basically, we spent a whole day in this like restaurant because it's got Wi-Fi and stuff, and I was working. And then it was like, cool, now it's time to leave. Went outside to the reception area, trying to use the app Grab, because Grab is the Uber out here, and basically it won't accept any of my cards. So I'm signed up to use my card, but it won't. It says no, we can't do this payment. So I added a bunch of different cards. It didn't work. So then I was like, cool, I'm gonna have to use cash. So I go and speak to the receptionist, and basically the receptionist is like, yeah, sure, I can drive you over to a cash machine. You can get cash out. I'll drive you back, and then you can get in the cab. So go in this buggy, this golf cart, but like a 6-person golf cart. And I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. So we drive like 2 minutes down the road to this single room where there's a single cash point in it. So I put my card in, obviously get the money out. And I think sometimes the combination or like the order is different. Sometimes your card comes out first, then your cash comes out. Other places, your cash comes out, then your card comes out. Now, I think because he was waiting in my getaway vehicle, which is this golf buggy cart thing, and I'm like, got to get home. I don't want Kimmy to get cold while she's waiting, kind of thing, in this reception, although it's pretty humid here anyway. And I get my cash, I get the receipt, and I just get in the golf cart. So then I'm like, cool, driving back this 2-minute drive, and I'm like, I should tip this guy for doing this because this was really helpful of him, because this is not our hotel, but he wouldn't know this kind of thing. And then got back and I tip him. He's like, oh, thanks, man. And then I literally walk off back to Kimmer. And then I'm like, right, cool, I've got cash now. So I'll book the taxi. Book the taxi. And then I'm like, hang on, where's my Monzo card gone? Where is it? I'm like, did I? So I'm like, I don't have it on me. I walked over, I looked where I tipped him because I was like, oh, maybe it's spilled out when I did it then or something. And then I was like, oh, I've lost it. I need to go back to the cash money. So while my taxi's on its way, I went back to the same guy. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I think I've left my card in the machine. And he was like, it's probably going to swallow it, because machines after 3 minutes or whatever, if you don't take it, it swallows it, right? So I was like, cool. Really sorry that you're going to have to take me back. So he basically then, back in the golf cart, drives to the cash point. He then says to the local guy, like, oh, this guy's left his card or whatever, but in the local dialect kind of thing. So I didn't understand what he said. So I then walk in, check, it's not there. So I'm like, cool, freeze the card. So annoyingly, and I think this is probably like the second time ever that I've done something like this. But it's irritating. No matter how little you do it or how much you do it, it's irritating. But thankfully, it's Monzo, as in they're very good. But I'm like, do I order a new card or not? So thankfully, got back. The taxi guy was like calling me, like, "Where are you?" And I was like, oh, "I'm coming," because I'm like in this golf cart basically. But yeah, finally got back. So I'm glad, because otherwise I would have been cashless. And then, having to walk back and stuff. But thankfully, I got the cash before I lost the card, which is the good order, rather than losing the card when you need to get cash. But I've got backup cards, but it's just frustrating. It's just annoying, isn't it? So I'm more annoyed at myself because I'm usually pretty good.
Coming in hot, are you?
So, yeah, I'm coming in hot. Coming in hot with the fact that I lost my Monzo card. So now I'm like, I need to speak to Monzo. Like, do I ask Monzo to send it out to Bali? It'll probably take 7 days, maybe. Like, I mean, I'm here for 15.
Probably not worth it.
Yeah, I mean, Kim has still got her Monzo card, so I might as well just like transfer over and then she can use hers.
Yeah,
and
because I guess you freeze the card rather than the account, don't you?
Yeah. So
you can move the money to other accounts at least.
Yeah, that's it. And I think ultimately, the card probably was swallowed. But it felt so bizarre because I'm not like that usually. And Kim was like, chances are, because your getaway vehicle was waiting, you felt the pressure and you were like, come on, we're robbing this bank. Let's go. I'm freaking waiting for the receipt, but not the card. But I believe it's because they have it come in the different order. So cash comes first, then the card. It must be. Because I don't think I lost it it was like a 2-minute buggy ride. I don't think I lost it, but nonetheless, it's not with me now. We will never know. And that person that's found a Monzo card is like, cool, let's spend some money. you can't because it's frozen.
You never know, that person might be listening to this podcast.
Oh yeah, they've backtracked.
Or in 50 years' time.
Yeah, like it just washes up somewhere, and someone searches Dan Ryland because it's on the card, and they find out that I have this podcast. In episode 3, they talk about the fact that they lost it in Bali. Yeah,
good marketing ploy.
Oh yeah, but Monzo, Monzo's cool anyway. I mean, I'm using card to buy stuff a lot of the time, but if I freeze it, then I can't do Apple Pay. But Apple Pay doesn't. They don't really take Apple Pay. They want your physical card to put it in the card machine, so it's a bit quirky. But roll with the punches, right? I mean, at least you can use your card, and it's not cash and cash only. But yeah, anyway, that was my kind of story.
Hard life of the traveler.
Yeah, that's it. But tell you what, like doing this travel life of, beach while you're on video calls and stuff is obviously with the camera off, and very much mute kind of thing, so no one catches the background noise. But yeah, it's a good experience. So if you ever can get to this setup, then it's quite nice. I mean, it's very much lifestyle design. I keep on saying with Kimmer that like we're prototyping the fact that I'm kind of doing UK hours. So my hours, broadly speaking, are 4 p.m. till 12 midnight and a little bit more.
So what time is it for you now?
It's 42 minutes past 12 at night.
It's 5:45 in the afternoon, evening.
Yeah, so it's like, what, 7 hours? 7 hours? Well, yeah, 7 hours, I think it is. So yeah, but I quite...
Yeah, 7.
I like the fact that technology enables us to do this. As in, you're still in the UK, in North Wales, and I'm here, and it's like as if we're in the same room. And now I'm in Bali, of all places, so I think that's really cool. But yeah, looking forward to trying out the lifestyle of traveling and working at the same time and see how that fits and works together. But it's been great so far. We've only been here basically 24 hours, I think. And I've already lost my card. I was fine in Singapore. I was fine in Singapore. I'm one of those guys that's like, check your cards and keys before you leave the place, because that's embedded into your brain, like scorned into your brain from your parents, right?
I guess all the Instagram pyramid schemes to work out in Bali, they don't tell you about losing your card and the frustrations of normal life getting at you.
Yeah, this will be a perfect,
humanity.
Like NatWest or the HSBC adverts of like, you've lost your card abroad, and they're filming someone abroad and they've lost the card, and they go to a cash machine and they type in these 4 numbers and then it gives you money. Like, basically Monzo should use me as a PR stunt. Like, lose your card in Bali, and I'll just like video it and I could sell the video back to them. Oh yeah, actually maybe that's it. I will promote the freezing feature by saying like, vlog the fact, I've just lost my card and now I don't know what to do, and then
would you just get them to Monzo to pay for you to be in Iceland or something, just to freeze your card on this nice holiday?
Supposedly I think either Iceland the country are suing Iceland the brand, or Iceland the brand is suing Iceland the country or something, because Iceland the brand want to keep hold of their IP and they want to be known as Iceland and not have to change their name or anything. So I think it's something like that, because I think Iceland the country might be trying to buy trademarks or something in that sphere, so no one can call themselves Iceland or something. But I thought that was quite a funny thing to have.
That's very interesting.
There was also a Welsh company called Eryri or something like that, which is a name of a place, and they couldn't trademark it because someone else had trademarked Snowdonia. And I'm like, wow, you can trademark Snowdonia. But Snowdonia is like an area, is it not? Or something like that. So it's a big clothing brand that's trademarked Snowdonia. And then this small brand got a letter to be like, you need to stop selling t-shirt, jumpers and stuff. And then I think they were like, let's change it to Welsh then and it'll be fine. But I don't think that washed or whatever. I think it's probably because, maybe there's not so much support for trademarking stuff in Welsh as it is English. But I don't know.
Interesting.
But yeah, that's my hot take.
That is your hot
lifestyle
take.
Design. The living on the edge of lifestyle design, basically.
Yeah. So lifestyle design, but with humanity.
Yeah, with human failures.
It's always the humans that fail the design.
It is, isn't it? And even if it was a robot, chances are the human programmed the robot, so it always comes back to a human failing it. So it is what it is. That's how the cookie crumbles.
So how would you pitch an idea to Monzo to fix whatever's happened for when they listen to us, when we're billionaires with great ideas?
They should basically have region-specific printers that print and airdrop new cards, so they could drone in a new
like
card.
A 3D printer in every hotel?
Even that. Yeah, like either that they hijack the 3D printer ecosystem, so you can 3D print a new coral card or whatever color, right? Because it doesn't matter, but it would need the chip in it somehow. So maybe they would have local areas, like one like designated Monzo rep for each country that they are in or support, I should say. So then you can basically airdrop, like physically drone over a new card. Because I'm thinking, cool, chances are they print their cards in the UK or the States, because they're in the States, right? They're in USA and they're in London, or in the UK. So I would assume, because they're in Cardiff as well, they've got a place in Cardiff. I would assume that they print in the UK and send to the UK. But if you're abroad, would they print it in UK and send it to you like special delivery or whatever? But I mean, they might do it for free on a one-off chance. If if I tweeted about it, Monzo, come and save the day, I forgot my card, and make a big like PR thing. Ultimately, if you drop someone's
I've created a whole podcast about it.
yeah. Listen to this podcast about Monzo and how great they are, or not. So, but yeah, I would basically either get the ability to 3D print the cards, or have a local printing station, kind of like not drop shipping, kind of like what's it called when you have like T-shirts and they get printed in another country for you and you just send it. It's kind of drop shipping, but it's just like on-demand printing, right?
Yeah.
And that would be just in every other country. And then if they were able to either motorbike it over to me, so it was quicker delivery, or drone it, send over a drone. But you always see those videos of Amazon drones getting stuck on the pavement or whatever, or someone will like knock it over or vandalize it. So then I'd be like, where did my card go?
Yeah, shame you don't have like if Apple buy Monzo and then have like a Find My feature in the card that then you know exactly where it is when you run back to those situations.
Yeah, I definitely think that should be better, because the whole like tracking wallets, or like phones you can track them. Tracking wallets where you'd have the cards in, you'd have to have the tracker or the Apple tag in the wallet. But I'm like, but what happens if you lose a card from that wallet? It doesn't matter. But if you could build it in the card, then that would be loads better. But I mean,
because they have created cards that you can do, so all they need to do is map that same design. Even if you like pay to upgrade your card to be like a Find My mechanism, I think that would be quite cool.
Yeah,
in between wait until everything moves over to Apple Pay, and then you won't need cards.
I think especially if you're abroad, then they're more likely to still want the chip of the card to go in. But if they were Apple Pay would like solve my problem. It wouldn't matter that I did it, but in losing it, I have to freeze it, which then means Apple Pay doesn't work. So,
or would you be able to chat with Monzo to get a new card, so your online one is a new one, and then input it into your wallet? That's the question.
Because
if they could do that, that would be amazing.
Because they do have, if you upgrade, they do have like digital cards, right? As in like you purchase something and then you burn it, as in like you get rid of it. But yeah, it's just unfortunate that they don't really accept Apple Pay here. They want the physical card, which is fine. But yeah, so I would say if Monzo are listening, have a army of 3D printers or card printers somehow that are in different regions, that then they can airdrop you the card through a drone infrastructure. So then it's not stuck from roads and stuff. So, I mean, you could even be like, how the Apple have recently brought out the satellite stuff, where if you're on a real, like, if you've got no signal, you can actually tap into like a satellite thing. Like, once in a while when I'm in the middle of nowhere and I lose my Monzo card, then this like, I literally wouldn't mind paying like a one-off fee of like, I don't know, you would pay £20 right now if they would drone over a card and like, here's the card, especially if I need it tomorrow, or like 50 quid. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, even a little bit more, right? If I was like
You just need like a Batman sign of the Monzo M in the sky.
Yeah, if there was a Monzo M and then, they collaborated with Elon Musk and used his satellites to like rocket into some sort of like the nearest park, and then you just go to the nearest park and then you unscrew the top and then you have like smoke comes out and the Monzo card turns up or something. I think that'd be cool. Funny.
Because it's a shame it isn't like SIM cards that just everything is just a card with it, and because it's an NFC, isn't it? And shame you can't just set it of like Monzo gives you the card to your Apple, and then you set the card, so then you can burn it, and then you have that choice of if you want a card or not. That'd be
like programmable, like empty cards that can be like programmed on the NFC by
that
like
could
touching
be
your
worldwide.
Apple. Yeah.
So then you have control over burning or buying.
Yeah, but then again, you can't
slogan
like burn or buy. Yeah, yeah, we'll be like bring on an image, burn or buy. Yeah, it's kind of like what's hot or not, isn't it? On a scale, I think in some ways it's all because we're trying to go backwards. Of like people want physical cards, so if you lose a physical card, how do you restore that? But really, eSIMs is a thing. Like I'm using an eSIM now, which is like weird because I literally scanned a QR code and now I have. I don't have another number, but I have another carrier, which allows me to use data, which has been like really slick and easy. So yeah, I'm trying all these like new stuff, but I'm not trying to lose my card to experiment of like, how good is it to lose your card? I'm not trying to do that, but
you should vlog it. It'll become millions.
Yeah. Some like sob story. Like, I lost my card. So yeah, I haven't chatted to Monzo support yet, but I'm sure they'll be like, hey, we can either send it to you and it'll be
tough shit.
Hey, now you said the S word, I'm going to have to say that this podcast is explicit, mature podcast now. Yeah, 18 plus. I was thinking when I think you said it last time on you said it in a podcast before, and I was like, I'm just going to upload. I don't mark it for kids in YouTube, but it's kind of like sometimes you can say, oh, it is swearing in the podcast, but that's if you think the S word is swearing. But it's funny. But yeah, that's my hot take, unfortunately.
Hot take. Exciting. So do you have much planned for your Bali trip other than hopefully not losing more cards?
Well, I think it's like experimenting with, like I keep saying, lifestyle design of like experiment, because both of us work with just an internet connection. Then it's quite easy. So like Kim has been like downscaling all of her tech to be like, so she's got a small MIDI keyboard that's basically an octave and a half, like a piano keyboard, not a computer keyboard, which is probably just a little bit larger than a laptop. It would fit in a backpack. And obviously these microphones are pretty good for whacking in your backpack. And I don't need an audio interface because it's just like straight from micro USB to USB-C, which is helpful. So yeah, it's like learning with, if you need, obviously we're super lucky that we're both in digital, as in music is still digital. So if you can get that set up, then you can transfer things into like smaller devices to move things around. But I recognize that doesn't happen with everybody. But like if you were a teacher, for example, or a tutor, you could basically do things remotely, and you'd buy a tablet so you could draw stuff or whatever, right? So it's just about optimizing the tech and the things that we have to like have it all in a backpack, really.
That's cool. So. And I guess by going minimal, you have to be a bit more creative sometimes because you have those limitations of smaller items and stuff.
Oh, 100%. And I think like going on holiday, when you've done it a couple of times, you start to notice like some key things that are like important to have. So what I've noticed two things really. Like one, I always bring an extension cable with me, because you just end up you'll end up finding one plug in the hotel room or whatever, and then you need multiple charging things. So I have an IKEA 3 plug and 2 USB extension thing. Nice. And also that's kind of like protective, right? Because the fuse of the extension cord would probably blow before the fuse of my Apple chargers, I assume. So not that it's surge protected, but
we'll try that next week.
Yeah, that's where my information starts. So like extension cord, really helpful. And then like the second thing is, for like you shower stuff, I don't have like a shower bag. So I just bought like freezer bags, not ones with zippers, but just like large freezer bag. And then you can just tie a bunch of stuff together. So like, you know, your face creams, your suntan lotions, your toothpastes, your shower gels, your, you know, face wash and all that stuff. You just bung it in one bag and tie it. And then, you know, as you go along, you rip it open and then you know, create another one. Obviously, I don't think the plastic is biodegradable, which is probably a faux pas of mine. So I'm going to get cancelled now. But, you know, I'm using them sparingly. But just like simple, like small plastic bags are like helpful to have for like, and then
become more
bags,
eco as time goes on.
yeah, plastic bags that you can see through them. So then it's not like a carrier bag because you can't see through certain carrier bags. So then you can like quickly see, oh, right, this is where my toothbrush is, or this is where my thing is. So similar to like really, you know, people that have makeup bags or wash bags, really they should be see-through. So then you can see what's in them. I think that's kind of it. So those are my 2 travel hot takes.
Nice. Because I guess it's been in the pipeline for how long? 2+ years you were meant to go out?
Yeah, basically Kim and I have like built up to this. Just before COVID, we wanted to experiment with 1 month in Bali. And we had to cancel it because COVID was hitting in that February. So we cancelled the whole thing. But now we finally, you know, aligned it all to be able to do it this month. The month.
So it's the
October,
February before went into lockdown into the March, was it?
Yeah, I think we basically booked either the entire of March, and it was in February where it's like, right, things are kicking off. Right, we're not going to go abroad. It's a bit too risky because there's too much unknown. So we then cancelled it. So.
Could have got locked down in Bali for like a year or 2.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be a bad place. It wouldn't be a bad place to be locked down, so long as you don't lose your Monzo card. So.
Yeah, first week, lost Monzo card.
Yeah, day 0. Day 1. First 48 hours, you lose your Monzo card. So. But,
like, I'm a business owner, but really you just like become a tramp by day 30 because you've lost all your cards.
Yeah, and they need a physical card. They don't take Apple Pay, so you like, and that's it. You realize how reliant you are on like certain infrastructure, and how like now when you travel abroad, yes, there's loads of local people trying to like kind of hassle you for like taxi, which is fine. I'm not bothered about that because people got to make livings, right? But like instantly when you walked out in Singapore, they were like, right, here are basically the Ubers of Singapore. So like you can download these apps and that will sort you out because it's broadly speaking, you know, safer in a physical sense because you hope that the validation of this person's registered the ID, and so long as the person that is in the photo is actually still the person in the car, because I know people switch cars and stuff, as well as you then don't feel like you're being screwed over when they overcharge you or anything like that. And also I was able to pay by card, so there's less need for withdrawing money, which then means you're saving on conversion rates and all that stuff. So there's a nicety to all that stuff. So I'm kind of like used to the benefit of going to a different country and kind of utilizing their version of Uber or their version of like those apps and stuff as well.
That's interesting. So
yeah,
apart from negatives of losing cards, what is a positive that stands out?
I think
above them all.
Traveling makes you realize how small the UK is in the grand scheme of things. And if you don't realize that already with just generally the access that we have to information and news and stuff, but it just makes you appreciate different cultures and be respectful of that, and how generally speaking there is innovation everywhere. And I really like the way that Singapore have got some stuff set up with how they do their cities, because it's super green. Like everywhere there's trees, much more than how you would typically feel in kind of like the UK or whatever. So like some of the infrastructure choices are a little bit different, and I think like they benefit from that. And then in Bali and stuff, like it's very focused on like tourism and stuff. So there's a bunch of like opportunity there for people when they do like create their bike company, or they sell souvenirs, or they run a massage parlor, or whatever it is, right? There's like there's so much money in just providing for tourism, so long as the tourism is like stable. Obviously COVID threw that out. So yeah, there's lots of provision, and broadly speaking, there's loads of nice people that like, of course there's the odd moments here and there, but yeah, everybody's nice, everybody's friendly, and it's nice. And you're meeting different people, different cultures, different languages, and it's just you realize there's a bit more to just London or just North Wales or whatever. So it's good. I always like that feeling. You're much smaller than you think, which in my mind is like inspiring, because there's lots of opportunities off the back of that. But someone else might be like, this is overwhelming. But yeah, for some reason I don't feel that way, which is good. It's just the way that I'm wired. Happy to be wired. But
as long as you don't tell it to a gym guy, you're much smaller than you think.
Yeah. Yeah, you forgot to do leg
go
day.
down too well.
Yeah. That's it. And yeah, same again, like restaurants or gyms. Like Bali seems like, because it's hot, you don't really want to be eating like chocolate and stuff as you normally would, or snacks. So you're a little bit healthier because you're snacking less. It's too hot, so it's uncomfortable. So you're walking and sweating a bit more, which is good, burning off the calories. You're drinking more water. So I think general kind of lifestyle is improved because of the heat, and also just what you feel comfortable eating, which is good as well. But yeah, if you get opportunities to travel, I think it's good to do it. One, just for like soaking in like what you appreciate, what you don't appreciate, like how you can change your life and adapt your life, or kind of like inspire yourself and that kind of stuff. So and it doesn't always have to be abroad, it can be just literally like different parts of the UK, even like there's different like subcultures even in the UK, so.
Yeah, that's the thing, it's different scales, isn't it? And that's the thing, you can do it with friends or family, even if you do have that online element, that you can do it on the cheap. But
100%.
Moral of the story, you can lose your Monzo card anywhere.
Yeah, and on that note, I've got to jump to another call, so keep hammering, but don't lose your Monzo cards. I can't even speak either, it's too late. So. Till next time, stay classy. Keep hammering.